first question is very simple, very straightforward. But
express this solidarity. And also when we were in Cox's twice retired, first from the civil service and then after being what do you call professor of economics and finance at Northside University next door. So then this soundbite started appearing, and obviously we were in our living room watching those, and also the Facebook, all these faces came out. And then obviously we felt guilty and we thought that we make a trip. So we made our first trip. So I'll tell about the private relief effort. He has told about the government relief effort. I'll tell you about some of the private relief. So we just started, whoever our friends, relatives, students, whoever, they said give us some money. We started begging and then so went out with something. And I went through the by the Naf River, we could still see the fire on the other side, on Myanmar. And then we took eyes with their heads down. These are very, very, what you call, not all of them are very poor people. They were all very, they're solvent people. They have very good life on the other side, and then very, what you call, a disturbance. Then we realized that, there's bringing rice, and here that was not their immediate problem. Their immediate problem was they needed latrines. They needed what you call hand tubes. So then we came back, and then we organized this latrines, hand tubes, and then also there was a security issue for women. So we set up what you call solar light. So we went there again to do this in both the camp. And then there again we met what you call a Lieutenant Colonel in army with the border guard forces. So and he was telling me the Rohingyas were telling me this you kill us, at least we'll get a decent time. I looked did some research and saw the data. He is about 17 years. When the refugees come and then refugees get back to home. Then somebody says, no, that's a high number. Then what is the low number? The low number is 10 years. So as the Refugee Commission has kindly pointed out, you see, again, the other thing that I wanted to hear, the card was not there. The private support that was overwhelming, that was no longer there. Whatever the institutional support was there, and also much less relief efforts compared to the previous days. So it is dying, it is expected, as the Vice Chancellor was mentioning, then it became an ordinary news and we attach no importance to it. Then at that time I looked at what we could do, what could happen, the prospect, the article that I wrote. Essentially, if you could compare this, I hope the Myanmarese authority would, realize this potential, and then good sense would prevail with them. The second option is, as my friend Sadequl was telling, it's a fascist state. So if there was a democratic uprising in the Myanmar, if there was a people's government in Myanmar, so obviously they will be more responsive to the needs of the people. And the third option, as people have discussed, is the intervention by international community, which is not coming forward. What are the peacekeeping forces? Peacekeeping forces are sent here and there. Why not in the Rakhine state, where they really need to be there? And then finally, I would conclude by saying this: is that, you see, nothing lives in a vacuum. If somebody thinks that yes, if somebody washes their hand, this problem will resolve itself. If the government of Bangladesh thinks that it will just go away, it will not go away. there could be very serious consequences for this country. There could be very serious consequences for the region if this problem is not addressed. Thank you very much.
First question is very simple, very straightforward. What can we do as students or youngsters to actually be a part of the whole issue, or how could we like help the Rohingyas apart from donating or providing financial support?
I think that is an excellent question. Who would like to address that?
The issue has moved out of the radar. So what you need to do as a student is to move it back. Remember during the liberation war of Bangladesh, there were a lot of international years. You remember the concert by Ravi Shankar and George Harrison on this. So actually we are missing our friend Taslim Shakur. He is organizing such here with his students. You know what he did was he dyed his hair in colors, in blue and red to express the solidarity. And also when we were in Cox's Bazar distributing relief supply, he also organized a visit by Clowns Without Borders, So they were singing about it. So I think as students, the most important role through your Facebook, through your social media is to what you call get more and more people involved. And then not let this Rohingya issue slip out of the minds of the world community at large. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.